So hey, Adi, I'm so sorry that it didn't work out on Instagram Live, but we're gonna chat this way and then hopefully share this with our community so people can learn from your story, your insights. Really grateful for you making the time today. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So we've worked together for a long time, but I'm realizing I don't know the ins and outs of your personal story, how you came to JDC, where in Israel you grew up, things like that. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, yeah, I'm here at JDC for 8 years now, and I'm from Jerusalem, born and raised, and probably going to die here also. I love Jerusalem. And basically, I came to JDC 8 years ago after a very long time at the newsroom. I was a journalist, working very hard in a very difficult world of the news. And to be honest, I was looking for a way out of the news world. And because, for me, it was like 180 degrees shift. Because when you are in the news, you're always around stories that represent everything that's wrong in Israel and around the world. And moving to JDC, it's like exactly the opposite. I'm still dealing with stories about people facing challenges, of course, but the focus is on hope, on how the connection with JDC changed their life for better. So I'm quite happy, and it's been really great journey so far, and I'm still looking for to keep on working.
Yeah, there you go. That's my story also. Before coming to JDC, I also was a reporter. I was working in journalism for a number of years and had that same kind of feeling of like you're meeting people when they're at their lowest moments and you're just sort of witnessing, which is very powerful. It's very powerful to be able to bear witness, to help people feel seen, and to share this with the world. But then the story kind of stops. You just sort of send it out into the ether and now what? And I think being at JDC and knowing that you're part of the impact, that you're part of changing people's circumstances, changing people's lives, it's super powerful. So tell me,
Yes.
what does your job really look like? What are you doing most days? Yeah.
So I will tell you that I have the greatest job in JDC, as far as I think, and because my role is just to go on the field and to search for stories, to meet people that JDC is helping, and to capture their stories, either if I'm written it or if we're filming it, take it as photos, but basically to capture their stories and share it with all our audience. And it's really great because I'm get to be all around Israel, north, south, kibbutzim, moshavim, and it's really great because it's given me a chance to get to know Israel, the real Israel. And we're talking right before Yom Ha'atzmaut. And for me, to get to know Israel from the good side of the story, I'm really privileged to do that, to be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm not Israeli, but I travel a good bit and it's a country that I know and love. And I feel like every time I travel to some new city or encounter some new program or meet a different kind of Israeli than I've met before, you fall a little bit more in love with the country. The more complex, the more nuanced it gets, it deepens the connection. And I imagine for you, how much the more so to, grow up to be Israeli, but to still feel like you're peeling back all these layers and discovering all these somewhat hidden parts of the country or different ways of being. We were talking, I know, in preparation for this conversation that pretty early on, from when you joined 8 years ago, you had an encounter, you had a story, I think an older woman that you met that really helped you realize, oh, this is what I want to be doing. Can you tell me that story?
Oh, sure. Wow. Listen, it is a story, and I told it quite a few times. But listen, it was like 3 months after I came to JDC. I went to Be'er Sheva, to employment center, and I met there Rita. She was about, I think, 68 or maybe 70 years old, quite she had her age, and she was telling me that she used to work in a factory that made like iron wheels. And we were talking, and she was telling me about all the difficulties that she had. And then in like certain moments, she looked at me where I was interviewing her, And she said, you know, at my age, lifting 50 kilograms of wheels every day for so many hours, I just couldn't do it. It completely broke me. I mean, it needless to say that I couldn't hold my tears. It was really powerful story because it's not just that we are helping people. It's not like food boxes or vouchers or something that help them for that specific moment. It's like we are helping them to develop, to have hope, to grow, and to improve their life. And for me, that story was the moment that I said, okay, I'm on the right place for me. So it's
Beautiful.
really
Yeah, yeah.
powerful story for me.
Amazing. I wonder how she's doing these days. I don't know. It'd be good I love to sort of track down some of these characters that we meet, years later. I'm not sure if you know how Rita's doing these days, but
So we reached out to her like 2 years after. It was like 5 or 6 years ago, and she was doing great because she found a job at the municipality, which she
hmm.
was very happy, and it was nice
Totally
talking
different
to
if
her.
you're used to carrying 50-kilogram wheels to have a
Wow.
desk job is transformational. With what you were saying about like these aren't just stories of immediate intervention. It's like giving people the building blocks for hope, for resilience, for recovery. For me, it feels very connected to the last few years, these very difficult years for Israel. And I'm wondering, how did your job change? The kind of stories you were telling, the kind of people you were meeting, and why has this work been so meaningful now during this period?
So October 7th was horrible, as we all know, and for me personally, it was really challenging. I had to go all over Israel and to see, especially on the on the south, and to see all the damage, to see all the crisis in my eyes. It was hard. I mean, it was hard. There were very difficult stories, and that there was one story of the Bilia family from Ofakim. It was like 3 weeks after the war began, and we arrived to a hotel of evacuees at the Dead Sea. And I met Michal, that was her name, and she was telling me that the day of the October 7th, she had to hide with her two very young kids. One of them was 5 at the time, and the second was 9-month-old baby, and she had to keep them quiet because they had to stay on the roof of their house, and she was kept nursing him so he will be quiet, and they were hiding there for like 3.5 hours. And when we met her at the hotel, she told us that the caregivers from JDC came with chibuki dolls,
Mm.
which probably some of you know. And
For folks who don't know, this is a trauma therapy tool, sort of using play and imagination, helping children comfort this doll. So in a way, they're comforting themselves. They're giving themselves the tools to find their own resilience and their own strength. Yeah, it's an amazing tool.
yeah, I should have brought one. No, never mind. Um, so one of them came to her child, the older one, the 5-year-old one, and she was telling the caregiver that the kid is not speaking ever since October 7th. It was like 3 weeks after he barely speaks. And she came to him with a chibuki doll and told him, your doll look a little bit sad. Do you have an idea why he's sad? And he was looking at her and tell her it's because he has to be quiet for a long time until the bad guys downstairs will go away.
Mm.
And it's powerful story because that was the moment that they realized what was holding him
What they were
back,
carrying, yeah.
and how they have to start taking care of him emotionally.
Mm.
And he was very connected to this doll, and it was a powerful story because to see it in the eyes how people are dealing with a severe trauma.
Yeah.
It
And
was
you're
really
obviously a
difficult.
mother of course too, and I'm sure you think about it from that
Three.
perspective. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I only have two, so
totally.
you win. Yeah. But I wonder, these are stories that are heartbreaking, but they're also, I'm sure, stories that give you a lot of strength. And I wonder if there's a story that maybe has helped you think about this period in a different way that's kind of given you the tool because you're not only doing the work, you're living it also. Is there someone you've met where you've kind of come away from that encounter feeling like I'm going to be okay, or this is how I'm going to talk about this with my family, or this is building me up in some way?
Wow. So listen, we met Chaviv. This is his name. On right like a month ago on evacuee hotel in Jerusalem. He was evacuated from his house in Bet Shemesh,
Which, if
and he
folks don't
was
remember,
telling.
was hit really, really hard. There was a direct hit in Beit Shemesh, and it's got to be dozens or hundreds of people who were displaced from that one attack. Yeah.
Yeah, so wow, it I mean it was unbelievable. We've been at Bet Shemesh. It was unbelievably hard to see the place. So we met him at the hotel, and he was telling us that he had a daughter, and she is hard of hearing, and she was one day leaving the house to going to the supermarket, and like a minute after she went out of the house, uh, a missile fell right next to their home, and there is a video. I mean, I was shocked when I saw this video. It was really close to her and it damaged all the house, all the windows were broken. And the girl was so traumatized from this event. And he, as an elderly himself, was, I think, 70 years old,
Hmm.
he couldn't deal with the situation, with the trauma of his daughter. And he felt like he was lost. He telling me, listen, I am lost. I don't know what to do. And hearing his story, and I have to say, when I met him and when I interviewed him, he didn't get any help from JDC. He was just had a first
Not
conversation
yet.
with
Not yet. At
Natalie.
least, just beginning to explore it. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And like 4 days after, I got a WhatsApp message from Natalie, the caseworker that helped him, and she was written me, listen, I know you talked to Chaviv. I just wanted to tell you that we find him a temporary house.
Wow.
So he will have a place to be for Passover. It was in Passover. And it is a moment that you feel, okay, we are good.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah.
doing good. So it's heartbreaking and it's really hard to hear the stories, but there is a hope that we are helping people in a certain point that they really need us.
And I think it's so beautiful. I mean, you obviously doing this in Israel, me sometimes in Israel, or my work takes me to other parts of the Jewish world, other parts of the JDC world. You're kind of meeting people at a certain moment, but obviously all this amazing infrastructure of this organization is surrounding them before the moment you meet them, after you're kind of capturing a piece of the story. But like you were saying with Rita, who ended up getting this job at the municipality, or the way that Chaviv's story kind of continued to develop, there's often very beautiful transformational outcomes, that come after you meet someone at their lowest, hardest place. The story keeps going, the program works, there's a real change in their lives, and being able to sort of follow these people on their road to recovery is a very, very special thing. Absolutely. Um,
It is, and using the infrastructures that we're doing on regular time, there is not much of a regular time in here in
in
Israel,
Israel these
but
days, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but using the same infrastructures for emergency, it's
It
really
matters.
useful,
It's
and
not an
we do
organization
it.
that just like kind of came up yesterday. The fact that there's all these systems and these proven techniques and this amazing team of our colleagues, it matters that you're able to sort of turn this on in a different way when the situation really requires it. I guess I'm wondering, JDC does so many different things, and you've been at JDC for 8 years. JDC's been in the land of Israel since our very, very earliest days. When someone asks you where you work, or when you say what JDC does in Israel, what's your answer these days? Like, what's our role in these complicated times?
So it is. I mean, I'm very proud, as you can probably hear from my stories. Listen, the past 2 months was difficult, but and I find myself leaving my kids home alone because my husband is in reserve duty since this specific war began, and he was 2 months out of the house, and I was leaving the house so often to go traveling to Beer Sheva, to Dimona, to Arad, Bet Shemesh, wherever missiles hit, Zarzir. Beit Jan, Ma'alot Tarshiha, you name it. And 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 it was hard because and sometimes when I was driving in my car and there was siren and I didn't know where to go, like where am I pulling my car now and hiding from the missiles. So I wasn't say it's like a picnic. Yeah, it's a hard work and it's very challenging sometimes, but for me it's really, I mean, it gives me a reason to get up in the morning, and I love it. And when I post Facebook or Instagram posts, usually I'm very proud saying, "Listen, we're doing great things in Israel, and I'm feeling part of a larger movement towards rehabilitation, towards rebuilding. It's great to be part of it."
And really helping people. That there are all these people that are otherwise maybe on the margins of Israeli society, whether they are have always been vulnerable, people with disabilities or the elderly or things like that, or people who are thrust like Haviv into a new situation that they need to figure out how to navigate. That's who our focus is people in need. Yeah.
Exactly. It's all about people. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How are you planning to mark Yom Ha'atzmaut this year? It's a different kind of flavor. I'm sure every holiday has a different flavor, and this every year has a different kind of energy that you bring to it. Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, Yom Ha'atzmaut, it's always very something very festive and very happy. And the last few years wasn't, I mean, it was hard and it was complex and you keep thinking whether it's okay to celebrate. I remember the last 2 years where there were hostages and you feel like it's not even right to celebrate Independence Day. So thank God we're not there now. But I can say that going and traveling through Israel and meet people in person, it gives you all the variety of people, the diverse, the beautiful, the strong Israel. And when you feel it that way, you feel more proud to be Israeli. And um, and I think that, I mean, I'm not, my only hope, I can say it that way, is that, let's say, it's like the little things. It's
Mhm.
my kids go to summer camp in the Boy Scout. It sounds so trivial, but to be honest, it's not. And they kept getting cancellations for all the summer camps and whatever, and Pesach
Mhm.
trip. And I just want them, to live a normal life. And for me, this is the real meaning of independence. And I just keep crossing my
Yeah.
fingers that Israel will have a quiet time to start rebuilding, start healing, and get back to normal life.
Everyone needs it, yeah. And like you're saying, it's been
Yeah,
a few years where absolutely nothing is to be taken for granted. All these simple joys of holidays and of childhood need to be really celebrated and cherished and embraced, yeah, clutched. I'm
yeah.
wondering, I feel like I'm pretty close to Israel because I'm talking to you all the time. I'm talking to so many colleagues. JDC is this global organization with so many people who sit in Jerusalem who are not only the team who work on our Israel programs, but also the administrative team for Europe and the former Soviet Union and our non-sectarian program. And so many different people sit in Jerusalem. I feel very connected. But for a lot of Jews around the world who have a lot of passion and love for Israel, and at the same time, a lot of fear and anxiety right now. And Israel feels very far away, and people haven't been able to, for logistical, financial, for emotional reasons, been able to get to Israel, even if they've wanted to. What do you want Jews around the world to remember or to know about Israel at this moment where they might be feeling like it's all very scary and it's all very far away? What's your message to people who care about Israel but haven't been able to, touch it themselves recently?
Hmm. First, I want to tell them thank you because I can feel, and I know I'm not the only one that can feel the love and the support from Jews around the world, and it's really powerful and meaningful. And if I had to tell them something, that I just wish they won't give up on us. Because I know that we are the troublemaker. I know that we are a lot to deal with. I know that we are not giving any piece of quiet to no one around the world, but I can also say that people in Israel are really hopeful. I mean, I know it doesn't sound like that when you see the news, when you hear about it from abroad. It doesn't sound like we have very much of a strength. Oh my God, this word in here, but we do, we do. I'm meeting people that are very hopeful, and they really wait for times to be normal and to get back on track.
Yeah.
And wow, let me tell you about the Unbroken book
Oh,
that we.
yes, yes. I meant to ask you about this.
So
Good. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah, because this is my message for the world. Let me just see. Can you see it? Yeah,
Right now, yes. Yeah. Oh, no, it's blurry. Yeah.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, I need to find
You'll see
the
it says
thing.
Unbroken, and then the subtitle is a I can't quite see, a
A
visual
visual journey
journey of
of
recovery.
recovery.
Yes.
So
An incredible
it's
book
like
that
a
Adi is.
whole
Yeah.
album with so many hundreds of photos that we did in Israel. We just collect the photos from the past 2 years, and I think it's also part of my message to
Mm.
Israel. My team message to Israel, because at certain point we felt that we collected so many images from all over Israel, as I said, since October 7th. Of course, that even before, but since October 7th, it was very significant amount of
Mhm.
photos and of activities that we captured. And we felt that it's actually had a real power. Like they're telling together, they're telling the story.
Mhm.
I mean, the story of course, of an enormous crisis and everything we've been through here since October 7th, but also many different way of responses of how JDC was in on the ground and responds to and
Yeah.
support people
And I
across
think
Israel.
what's so amazing, I think, is you and your team have these two different perspectives. On the one hand, you're able to be just across the room from someone and engaged in that intimate conversation and hearing someone's story and making people feel a little less anonymous and like their story matters and that's quite powerful. And also there's like this book project you're describing, like you're able to take this 20,000 foot view and say, this isn't just a bunch of disconnected. If you zoom out and you take a second and you breathe, there's a story here. There's a journey. There's an arc, and there is rebuilding, slow and steady. Even though it feels hard, even though the darkness feels like it's very, very heavy, you can take a second and you can breathe and you can sort of see where we're going, where we've come from, and where we're going. So yeah, the book project is absolutely incredible. But that sort of macro response is not at the expense of all these individual encounters. I find you and your team remarkable that you're able to juggle both of that. It's incredible, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of a you say a journey. It's for me, it's like a visual journey. Yeah,
Mm.
and you can find that they're like kids in Arab village, elderly that get support inside the house, community garden in next to the border in Naharia,
Mhm.
concerts in Ofakim, whatever you just name it, and you will find such a diverse response that JDC did on the ground, and it tells like beautiful story of the organization of us, the Israeli society, and it's great. It's amazing, really.
Beautiful.
I'm proud of it, as you can
Yeah,
see.
as you absolutely should be. Before we finish, I want to give you a chance. My Hebrew is rusty at best, but is there a message you want to deliver in Hebrew to fellow Israelis or to fellow Hebrew speakers as they mark Yom HaAtzmaut? I want to give you a chance to speak in Hebrew for just a second.
בטח, sure. So, קודם כל יום עצמאות שמח. אני מקווה מאוד שהמדינה שלנו תמשיך לצמוח ולהשתקם מהטראומה ולהתקדם הלאה לעתיד שהוא באמת עתיד טוב יותר ובטוח יותר ומלא תקווה לנו ולילדים שלנו ולדורות הבאים.
Beautiful. And Adi, I just want to say thank you. You said before, that the Jewish world is like stuck with Israel. You're joking about being the troublemakers, but I just want to say you're stuck with us too. That I think that JDC and the people who support this organization are with Israel and with Israelis for the long haul. even as it has taken all these different shapes, and it's a beautiful thing that we can, do this holy work together. And may this be a year of peace and rebuilding and joy in every corner of this incredible country, as you're describing. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you. Always, always.
Amen. Thank you, Alex. It's really a pleasure to work with you and to talk to you right now. It was great. Thanks.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.